Hey class, Mr. Sullivan here. So we're going to move on to our language arts section for the day. So during the lesson today, make sure you guys are taking notes. Don't forget to submit your notes to our discussion board after the lesson. So you make sure you get your participation points for the day. So our reading due now is the story of our lesson today, The Tyrant Who Became a Just Ruler by Maud Barrows Dutton. I just want to make sure we all know what tyrant means, right? And tyrant meaning kind of an unjust ruler, or somebody who is, rules meanly or unfairly. So I just want to make sure we understand what that word means, since it's important as part of the title. And we'll review the rest of the vocab in a little bit. So you guys can click the link below, or I have the story on the next slide. Remember to read it to yourself. And like I always say, make sure you try to read it twice. And we always get a little bit more understanding of the story after the second time we read it. So I'll give you guys a few seconds or a couple minutes to read the story. And so, are there any new to us words in the story? Or any phrases that were new to us or gave us a little bit of a hard time? Make sure you write them down in your notes for today. The couple that I thought, first we had tyrant, which I made sure we went over since it's in the title. Here, the definition that we have is a cruel and oppressive ruler. Oppressive, that's another kind of big word. And oppressive really means, that he does whatever he wants. Whether it's right or wrong, he does what he wants, and he doesn't care what other people are saying. And so from the story as well, there is tyranny, which clearly is very similar to the word tyrant. So tyranny is cruel and oppressive government or rule. So just notice the difference there between tyrant talking about a person and tyranny is talking about how that person kind of rules. The same word, it means very similar, but it talks, one's about the noun and the other is, more about the general concept. Moving on forward is a word called henceforth, which is a word I'm sure you guys really had never seen very often before. That's kind of an older English word that means from this time on or from that time on. Nowadays we probably just say then, something happened, then something else happened. Or, since then would probably be a better translation, but, it's an older English term called henceforth. And there's galloping, which really refers to a horse and refers to going at the pace of a gallop. So how a horse just horse kind of moves through like that, and you see a horse running, and it's just kind of referring to to the horse kind of running, walking, jogging, but it's specific to the use of horse. And then another fun word was doeth, which really, again, is another old English word, just like henceforth, but doeth means, to do or does, but it is a funny term. And if you noticed, if you went to the website, or I don't remember if it was on the screen or not, but yeah, it is down here, that the story was from 1908. So, over 100 years ago, they used a little bit different type of English there, different type of vocabulary. So today we're focusing on the theme of the story. So make sure in our notes we write kind of what we thought of the story and the theme. You guys can type it in on your on our application and give me a couple of thoughts for what you guys were thinking. But what is a theme? The theme is a story's underlying message or big idea, right? We've gone over theme a few times before, and the goal of talking about theme is to try to be able to take a story and then see, what the overarching theme is, be able to tell me what this story means without, reading the whole story. And, another thing with theme is that it may be stated directly or indirectly. And what does that mean? It might be very obvious what the theme is, or it might not be obvious at all what the theme is. So when we talk about the theme, it's not like it's a topic sentence, right? This isn't a historical essay, or this isn't, a factual persuasive essay. This is a short story. So we don't have the clear and obvious topic sentence. We have a theme, and that might be in the beginning of the story, or it might be at the end of the story, or somewhere in the middle. And you have to use the evidence of what goes on through the story in order to come up with what you think the theme is. So make sure on your notes, you guys will submit later, that I want you to write what you thought the theme of the story was today. I'll give you a few seconds to do that before I go over what I think the theme of the story was. And so what I thought the theme of the story was that, the king, right? So the king was, he was being a tyrant. He did what he wanted to do. But then eventually, one day the king just all of a sudden became a nice guy. All of a sudden changed overnight. And everyone was wondering, what happened that made the king change? And, eventually, enough people asked him, and he told the story that he saw, a bunch of, first animals and people, and they all, they were all getting injured. And it was because one person did something bad, and the next thing bad happened. And because that person did something bad, and the bad thing happened to the next, person or animal. And the king looked at that and realized, wow, like if I keep doing bad things, if I keep ruling like a tyrant, eventually something bad is going to happen to me. And that made him change how he acted and change, the type of person he was. So that's a lot of sentences, right? That really wasn't a concise theme, an easy theme. So what do we think, how can we take what I just said, what I thought, and make it small? Make it, more direct, more, more easy to understand. And I want you guys to do the same thing, with whatever, notes you took from the story. And I want you to try to take, what you think is the theme and make it down into kind of a one sentence, just one sentence for the entire theme. Maybe we could be something like, a person saw something happen and it made them change their life for the better. Or a person witnessed something, or the king witnessed something and learned from what he witnessed, and now he is a nicer person because of it. It could be something as simple as that. Make sure you guys have that down in your notes for me to review later. And so, we're always talking about what are the key details of the story? What make the key details of the story? And as always, we have our who, what, where, when, why. Who? The king, right? The story is clearly about the king. It mentions the people who the king rules, but the story is really about the king. And what? The king used to be mean, and now he's nice. Okay, that's kind of the whole main point of the story. And where? The story doesn't really say, maybe England, because we have all that old English like henceforth and doeth. And the very first sentence of the story for when says in olden times. And why? That's usually the most important part of the story. Why? So again, make sure you have that down in your notes, why you think, or what you think the why is of the key details. For me, what I put for why was the king witnessed a series of events that made him reflect on his own life, and those events taught him he who doeth evil will sooner or later be overtaken by evil. I think that's a pretty good explanation for why. He saw some stuff, and it made him, reflect on his own life and change the way that he wanted to act as a person. So for our assignment for today is, we're going to start working on an outline for, a short story that we're going to write. We're all going to write a story that kind of takes the message of the story we just read, the tyrant who became a just ruler, And, what was the purpose of that story? The king became nice after realizing he did something mean or evil. So we're going to try to bring that to our own lives and think about when was a time in our life that we did something bad or we did something we shouldn't have done, and we reflected on it later and realized, wow, I should not do that. So that's kind of the eventual assignment we're going to get to. We're going to write an essay on that, and maybe tomorrow or in a couple of days. But today we're just going to work on the outline for for the eventual essay. So we've seen this 5-paragraph essay template before. This is a little bit more for a persuasive essay. We're talking about the claim, the evidence. But when we write, our own short story, we're writing a short story. It's supposed to be a little bit entertaining. So we're going to focus a little bit on this analysis of a short story, meaning that it's, you guys will be writing about a personal experience. So it doesn't have to be, a thesis statement and then a bunch of evidence. It's more of what happened. How do you excite the reader? How do we get, the information? How do you get your point across where it's like, this happened, and then eventually I learned this because of it. So very similar to the story of what we read, right? In the beginning, the king, we know that the king is mean. For our story, maybe we know we did, or we did something bad. And now moving down, it's like, okay, well then the king became nice. And, for us, it's maybe, okay, well, we realized that we shouldn't have done what we were doing before. And then eventually at the bottom of this, the end of the story is, well, what made us change? So for again, the story we read today was the king saw something happen and it made him reconsider his life. And it made him reconsider how he acted. And it's going to be kind of the same thing for our short story, where it's how did we change from the beginning of how we were in the beginning of our story to what we're like, in the middle or to the end. So that's something we're going to work on. We're going to work on these outlines and make sure that we send them in to me as well with your notes today. And yeah, so we're just going to work on that. I will give you guys some feedback on your outlines, and then we will take that as the basis for our essay that we'll do in a couple of days.